Before watching the video, don't forget to subscribe to our channel by clicking the subscribe button below and clicking the bell icon to be notified whenever we publish a new video.
One month before stroke, your body will send you these warning signs. Don't ignore them. Yes, and this is the main reason why in this video we are going to talk about strokes, the most common warning signs, and how to protect yourself. First, you should know that there are two major types of strokes, ischemic and hemorrhagic. Ischemic strokes are more common and are caused by a narrowing or blocking of arteries to the brain, resulting in severely reduced blood flow. Hemorrhagic strokes are less common and are caused by bleeding in the brain. Can I ask you a simple question? Do you know what is stroke? Well, stroke is a disease that affects the arteries leading to and within the brain. And it's the number 5 cause of death and a leading cause of disability in the United States. A stroke occurs when a blood vessel that carries oxygen and nutrients to the brain is either blocked by a clot or bursts or ruptures. When that happens, part of the brain cannot get the blood and oxygen it needs, so it and brain cells die. And now you probably ask yourself, what are the effects of stroke? The brain is an extremely complex organ that controls various body functions. If a stroke occurs and blood flow can't reach the region that controls a particular body function, that part of the body won't work as it should. It's extremely important to identify the warning signs of a stroke and get medical help as soon as possible to reduce the risk of serious damage to the brain. This can help lower the risk of death or disability and improve your chances of recovery. The medical experts say that the signs and symptoms may vary from one person to another depending on the type of stroke, the part of the brain affected, and the extent of damage. But they all tend to begin suddenly. Stroke. Most common symptoms: hiccup, unconsciousness, lightheadedness or weakness, pain, breathing problems, hallucinations, epileptic attacks, personality changes, sickness. Recognize a stroke. This quick test could save your life. Stroke often occurs without warning signs. However, sometimes there may be some symptoms that can be an indication that a stroke might occur. The most common symptoms are interference in speech, visual disturbances in one eye, or movement disorders in one hand and or foot. These warning symptoms usually pass within few minutes. However, as soon as they happen, or if there is any doubt that there could be a stroke, you should immediately call an ambulance service. It is crucial that you do this, because the stroke can pass onto your feet, and if you do not contact your doctor immediately, a severe stroke might occur and lead to many serious consequences and even death. This 3-step test could save someone's life, therefore you must check it out. First of all, you need to see if the person's face is symmetrical. Next, if you think that one part of their face is hanging, then you need to ask that person to smile. If both parts of their lips are not lifted while that person is smiling, then you should know that something is wrong. Ask the person to lift their arms. If one of their hand is weak, cannot stay up, and it is falling, then you definitely need to be worried and call an ambulance immediately. Incoherent, strange, or unintelligible speech, repeating a word or phrase can be an indication that a stroke might occur. At this point, you need to ask the person to repeat a simple sentence, and at the same time you need to pay attention to their speech. Bad sleep can cause heart attack and stroke. Here's how to prevent it. Let's all agree on one thing: sleep is one of the great mysteries of life. Well, we still don't understand exactly why we sleep, although we are learning more about it every day. We do know, however, that good sleep is one of the cornerstones of health. 6 to 8 hours per night seems to be the optimal amount of sleep for most adults, and too much or too little can have adverse effects on your health. Sleep deprivation is such a chronic condition these days that you might not even realize you suffer from it. Science has now established that a sleep deficit can have serious, far-reaching effects on your health. For example, interrupted or impaired sleep can Dramatically weaken your immune system. Accelerate tumor growth. Tumors grow 2 to 3 times faster in laboratory animals with severe sleep dysfunctions. Cause a pre-diabetic state, making you feel hungry even if you've already eaten, which can wreak havoc on your weight. Seriously impair your memory. Even a single night of poor sleep, meaning sleeping only 4 to 6 hours, can impact your ability to think clearly the next day. Impair your performance on physical or mental tasks, and decrease your problem-solving ability. The experts also say that sleep is essential for a healthy heart. People who don't sleep enough are at higher risk for cardiovascular disease regardless of age, weight, smoking, and exercise habits. One study that examined data from 3,000 adults over the age of 45 found that those who slept fewer than 6 hours per night were about twice as likely to have a stroke or heart attack as people who slept 6 to 8 hours per night. It's not completely clear why less sleep is detrimental to heart health, but researchers understand that sleeping too little causes disruptions in underlying health conditions and biological processes like glucose metabolism, blood pressure, and inflammation. How to improve your sleep. Useful tips. Keep the temperature in your bedroom no higher than 70 degrees F. Studies show that the optimal room temperature for sleep is quite cool, between 60 to 68 degrees. Get to bed as early as possible. Your body does a majority of its recharging between the hours of 11 p.m. and 1 a.m. Go to the bathroom right before bed. This will reduce the chances that you'll wake up to go in the middle of the night. Eat a high-protein snack several hours before bed. This can provide the L-tryptophan needed for your melatonin and serotonin production. Also eat a small piece of fruit. This can help the tryptophan cross your blood-brain barrier. Eight signs you had a stroke and might not know it. Don't ignore these signs. We all know that the brain requires blood flow to function, right? So when a blood vessel is blocked in the brain or starts to bleed, you are at risk for severe and potentially permanent damage to the brain or death, if you don't act quickly. And just like with many health problems, the symptoms of a stroke are often misunderstood and thought to be something else. Ladies and gentlemen, you should be very careful, because strokes can cause serious brain damage and, according to the latest statistics, it's the 5th leading cause of death in the US. 8 signs you had a stroke and might not know it. Headaches and migraines. You should be very careful, and if you're experiencing a bad case of migraine or headaches for a longer period of time, then you need to visit your doctor immediately. A sudden onset of fatigue. The experts also warn that an extreme fatigue for a long period of time can also be a sign of stroke, but it is often an overlooked symptom. The American Stroke Association recommends the following fast acronym for recognizing the symptoms of stroke. The acronym stands for F. Face drooping on one side. A. Arm numbness or weakness in one side of the body. S. Speech difficulty. This means that when a stroke occurs, the lack of blood supply to the brain may cause slurred or garbled speech. You may think that you're speaking clearly, but if someone says that your speech is garbled, take the symptom very serious. T. Time is very important. Yes, you should call an ambulance immediately, as this step is often the thin line between life and death. Vision problems in one eye. This is very important for you to remember. Blurred vision or seeing double in one eye is often one of the most overlooked symptoms of a stroke. Confusion and difficulty thinking. And one last thing, when a stroke occurs, the brain needs oxygen and blood, which leads to confusion and inability to speak or think properly. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to share.
Wow.